So me, talk a lot about me. We've talked about here, me meaning the mental equivalent, but also the me as in my individualized hopes and desires and wishes. That song is from The Greatest Showman. I'm sure many of you may have heard it before. And it's sung in the movie by the character Jenny Lind, world famous opera singer. She was the biggest, she was the brightest. Towers of gold couldn't shine to what she was. The desire to be the best in the world. But then there was a longing as well. Because all that longing for the accolades, for the fame, for the fortune, for the expectation and the acceptance of someone else, something outside of her, created a longing. Was she enough? Are you enough? Or are you too much? The title of my talk is Which Side of Enough is Enough? Kind of this journey. Seems like for me, it's been a journey to know my enoughness. How I've put my value to myself, or for other people. Sometimes it feels like it's been an upward climb. Sometimes it's an adventure. But sometimes I really went through much of my life feeling that I was on the wrong side of enough. Not enough. And I would venture to say, not enough would echo through many of these ears, many of these hearts, and it may take on many different interpretations. But then there's the other side of I want more. When going back to a little bit of physics, the Newtonian physics, where there's a finite amount of material, there's a finite amount of money, there's a finite amount of time. That's a really easy perspective and to feel not enough of. But then we move to the quantum realm, where there's this infinite field of potentiality, an infinite field of potential. The God stuff, the God particles. All things are possible. In fact, all things are present and right here, right now. It's not even possible. You can never have more than enough because you're dealing in the field of the infinite. The challenge today is, for me, how do I find that space right in between of just being enough? So before I was talking about church and state, Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, I realized that there was one other gospel that I forgot about. Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, or was it Jim? So the gospel according to Jim, and I'll move through this quickly. Oh yeah, Jim Carrey. I'm not sure how many people are aware. Many of us know his films, The Mask, Ace Ventura, The Truman Show, many different movies, Dumb and Dumber. But he's also a phenomenal manifester, a phenomenal metaphysician. And there's that story when he was young and broke and didn't have a career, but his father believed in him. His family supported him, but he didn't have a dime. So he wrote himself a check, payable to himself for $10 million, payable for acting services rendered. And he dated that check like 3 years ahead at Thanksgiving of that year. And he put it in his pocket and he kept it. And every single day he'd drive up to the top of Mulholland Drive at sunset and he'd look at the check. And he'd take in the sunset. It's like that field of flowers, getting into that field of possibility that Rumi talks about. And he did it. He was so his conviction was so strong that, and he was so persistent. He says, visualization, manifesting is not easy work. You don't just like, oh, I'm going to visualize and then go have a sandwich. You got to do the work. You've got to be consistent. How deep is my faith? How deep do I believe what is mine to achieve? You can fail at what you don't want. So you might as well take a chance and do what you love. I think everyone should get rich and famous and do everything they ever dreamed of so they can see that that is not the answer. Jenny Lin, all the fame, all the fortune wasn't enough. She was on one end of the enoughness. How do you get back to enough? How do you find your equanimity, that perfect balance where you're all of it? It's not too much, it's not too little. If you're not in the moment, you're either looking forward to uncertainty or back to pain and regret. As far as I can tell, it's just about letting the universe know what you want and then working towards it, but letting go of how it's come to pass. So what do you want? Are you clear of what you want? My soul is not contained within the limits of my body. My body is confined within the limitless of my soul. The effect you have on others is the most valuable currency there is. How wealthy are you? In this room, I see a lot of prosperity, a lot of abundance, a lot of good to be done that's being done in the world. Because it's what you do, but it's who you are as you do everything out in the world. Consider the flowers. They don't try to look right. They just open their petals and turn to the light. So that check that he wrote, $10 million, that he had in his wallet, it was worn and burnt, torn through right before Thanksgiving of the year that he dated on that check. He just signed a contract for, I think it was Dumb and Dumber, and he was paid $10 million. He was so convinced for that. He was so appreciative. He actually, when his father passed away, that check got buried with his father in the casket. How deep do you believe? Jim Carrey believed he deserved to be at the front of the plane, and he would not let go of that. God spoke today in flowers, and I, who was waiting on words, almost missed the conversation. Go pick some flowers. Put together a most beautiful bouquet. Celebrate yourself. Be seen. Be smelled. Give them away. Give your life energy away. Do you believe in peace? In the world we live in today, I believe peace is possible. I believe world peace is possible right here, right now. Because it's an inside job. There's one other gospel that actually Jason shared with me. It's from this guy named Al-Anon. I know enough, I am enough, and enough is enough. Enough is enough. It's time to stop playing small. It's time to move to the front of the plane. It's time to experience peace and prosperity in our hearts, and then in our lives, and in our congregation, our community, and the world. Have a beautiful day. Go smell some flowers. Namaste. Thank you.